Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Raleen Marks, bringing you the top stories from Israel every Monday to Thursday, right on this very channel, but also on YouTube. And we would love it if you subscribe. You can find us at the Israel Brief, and all you have to do is simply click on the big red subscribe button. This way, we get to tell Israel's story to more people and bring them those stories they wouldn't see in the mainstream media. So let's get to it and let's take a look at those top stories. And as usual, we start with the COVID-19 global pandemic and how it is affecting Israel. And unfortunately, in the last 24 hours, Israel has seen its highest day to date with regards to infections. In fact, there's a lot of discussion taking place whether or not Israel should re-enter lockdown. One of the senior health officials has recommended that Israel goes into a 10-day mandatory lockdown, but it hasn't been decided yet, so we will watch to see latest developments. Yesterday, the health department bemoaned the fact that the Knesset committee had given permission to reopen gyms and swimming pools. However, they found during the epidemiology that only 35 infections could be traced to gyms, and perhaps closing them was a little bit premature. Another official has also suggested that Israel keep schools closed as long as possible until the virus numbers come down significantly. Israel's schools are closed at the moment for what we call Chofesh HaGadol, the big summer holidays. Also, what has been happening is that there have been protests in areas like the ultra-Orthodox suburbs of Jerusalem, and last night 16 Haredi or ultra-Orthodox protesters were arrested by police after clashing with them, saying that they feel that they were being discriminated against because of the lockdowns. And the Israeli healthcare system has warned that it really is stretched to capacity, and if nothing is done to alleviate the burden, they will have to go on a strike. So very, very difficult times at the moment for Israel with regards to the coronavirus. But let's take a look at those numbers. Since the start of the pandemic, 41,235 people have been infected with COVID-19, with 368 fatalities. 21,393 people are currently infected, 177 of them seriously, and 19,474 people have made full recoveries. And in other news, yesterday we spoke about a high-ranking Hamas official who was alleged to have been working with the Israelis and collaborating, and had been brought to safety into Israel. And this is not a scene from the TV show Fauda. This really happened. But a big story breaking in the Israeli media today is the story of 6 Palestinians who have been arrested by the Palestinian Authority. The background to the story is that last month, before the possible application of sovereignty or annexation, whatever you want to call it, went forward, these 6 Palestinians, despite their voices being disguised, their faces being blurred out, they quite openly and publicly said that they would love to become Israeli citizens, and they would support any kind of Israeli application of sovereignty over the villages where they live. And this is, of course, is completely in contradiction to the Palestinian Authority's zero tolerance policy of any kind of annexation talk or plans, and of course their opposition to the Trump peace plan. So we really are hoping for the safety of these 6 extremely brave Palestinians. But it brings up another issue. It begs the question that there is no freedom of expression or freedom of criticism of the Palestinian Authority in the PA-controlled areas. In fact, you cannot criticize the PA at all, whether it be in the media or in everyday life, and people really can pay the price with their lives. And our last story today takes us on to Twitter, the social media platform. And over the last couple of weeks, especially as the Black Lives protests and the Black Lives movement makes its way around the world, and there's talk about white privilege. So white supremacists have also globbed onto the term Jewish privilege, alleging that Jews are privileged, that we control everything, the media, the banks, etc., etc. It's not a new trope or allegation, but it is one that is gaining ground amongst white supremacists on Twitter. Well, a very, very brave activist by the name of Hen Mazig, some of you may be familiar with it, took it upon himself to challenge everybody on Twitter to share their stories of Jewish privilege, and what has resulted has been both heartbreaking but also inspiring. Many of us, including myself, taking to Twitter with the hashtag Jewish privilege to share our experiences enduring anti-Semitism. There are many stories that I myself can share about what it is like to be a victim of anti-Semitism throughout my life, including while I live in Israel, where I've had people tweet at me, "It is a pity that a rocket has not hit you and killed you, because unfortunately you are still alive." So that still goes on today, but we've also inverted it. We've decided to also share the positive things that we feel very, very privileged, and I myself feel very, very privileged to be a woman who was adopted very, very young by the most incredible parents, raised Ashkenazi, but my roots are actually Moroccan and Israeli, and to me that's a privilege to have this incredible heritage. So if you're out there and you're on Twitter, please take to Twitter to share your stories, both positive and negative, of privilege with the hashtag Jewish privilege. And if you are an ally of the Jewish community, and many, many, many people are, we've heard from many, many Muslim supporters, Christian supporters who've come out and said, our Jewish privilege is bearing witness to what is happening to Jews around the world. We would love to hear from you as well. The whole purpose of this campaign is just to be seen and to be heard. So those are the top stories making headlines today. But don't forget to check out our content online at our website, www.layoftheland.online. You can read Jake Donnelly's take on the whole controversy in the US with regards to anti-Semitic comments made by members of the NFL. Check it out there. Also, check out our Facebook page. We are growing rapidly, and we would love you to be a part of our community. Check us out at Lotl Site. Give us a like or a follow. We're also on Twitter at Lay of the Land 5. That is at Lay of the Land 5. Join in the campaign, hashtag Jewish privilege. We are there as individuals and as a collective. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Israel Brief. So with today's edition of The Israel Brief, I'm wishing you all continued good health and safety. And I'm Rolene Mark saying this is Israel Brief, and we'll chat again tomorrow.